What's going on, y'all? It's another day here in the RV life. Now, hopefully you're seeing, if you watch every day, now I would never ask you to watch every day. This is just kind of an update. I'm kind of stuck in a holding pattern. Yesterday's video, you saw me very frustrated, and I'm still frustrated. Since I filmed that, 2 days have passed. Yeah, 2 days have passed. Sunday, I took the day off, didn't do any video recording, just rested and relaxed. Now, I will say, if you're ever debating or wondering about putting out your stabilizers, let's say you can't get all your stabilizers out. If you're in a position like I'm in, but you need to live in your RV, but all your stabilizers won't work, I wouldn't say that I'm a definitive answer on what you should or shouldn't do. But the funny thing, we got level front to back, but not side to side. And I figured, well, the wheels can handle, what, 7,000 pounds per axle? So the RV is meant to handle 7,000 pounds per axle, plus the weight that goes on the fifth wheel hitch. And changing the dynamic a little bit by resting on those front two stabilizers, which, if I read correctly, those can handle 14,000 pounds, while the back four can handle 8,000 pounds. So the concerns that I still have are the fact that we put the slides out, so now we're wider than we used to. And like those numbers I just read, the stabilizers can handle more than the axles can. I'm still a little bit scared about the situation we're in. At the same time, trying to go get a cabin to stay in or a hotel is going to be very expensive. However, if I do regret my decisions, then that will probably be even more than the hotel. We're kind of in a period where we don't know what the next decision to make is. We're making a choice. The best we can do is pray about it and ask for guidance on the choices that we make, and just have to trust that God sets us on the correct path. It has been a bit of a challenge, though, as the girls, Kaylin is a very heavy stepper. She kind of pounds her feet through the RV as she walks through. And she's like me, she likes to zip quickly to a task. I'm going to get this book and come back here and draw pens. And with the stabilizers not all being set properly, the RV is just like woo, woo, woo. It's like being in a boat. So we've had to, I've been snapping a bit. Slow down! Just kind of getting everybody in the mode of move a little slower through the RV, please. And I've been very mindful of it because I'm very aware of the concern. So I'm like slipping through the RV like a ninja. But for everybody else, it's a bit of a challenge to remember. They're not necessarily thinking about the physics of what's going on with the axles and the springs, as it's in a slightly different situation. It's been a bit of a challenge, that's for sure. It's definitely a learning curve. Now, a lot of that was Sunday. That was just a day to be able to rest, sit down. I love watching YouTube videos on Sunday. A lot of my favorite RV YouTubers will come out with their videos. Got to see, was it Lindsay and Stuart, living small, dreaming big. Got to watch them as their crazy adventures down in Baja, Mexico. It was pretty funny watching Stuart. He's sampling foods he's never tried before, so he can report to Lindsay whether it's good or not, and it was quite comical. If you've not seen Living Small, Dreaming Big, they're an awesome channel. They're newer at it. They've got some important friends, so they've grown pretty fast for how new they are. But they've got quality videos. I recommend you watch them. And in fact, you should watch them and tell me if you don't agree with me. I say they have the best Airstream in the world. That's my personal opinion. Hands down the best Airstream. And the reason that is, they bought an Airstream that had already been gutted. They were going to offer advice, like that's something they do as a consultation, to consult people on what they could do to design it. And the people that they were consulting decided they didn't want it. So they wound up buying it from them as a shell. And from there, Lindsay came up with the design, Stuart came up with the build, and I think that they've built the coolest Airstream I've ever seen. And I have had a chance to walk through it. I had a mask on because I love Star Wars and I'm a goofball. but it is a great Airstream. Awesome family. If you have a chance to check them out, they've been sharing their journey down to Baja, Mexico, and they got some amazing footage of whales swimming through the ocean. I'm not sure if it's the ocean or if it's the inside, like is it the Gulf? The Baja Peninsula? I'm not really sure. All I know is you can go to their channel, you can see some shorts and you see some videos of the whales, and it's incredible. So then today is Monday, had a day of work, we're still in our area near our home base. We had some doctor's appointments to deal with, and from there just work and trying to consider what to do about the RV. It's still very cold. It's a very late cold for Texas. It was as cold as 35 this morning, which was a shock. Got up this morning, had the furnace on, the fireplace. I've seen temperatures like that in Texas before, but I don't recall after the 1st of March being that cold. But I would like to begin to look for my problem in regards to the stabilizers. I want to begin to work on taking apart the underbelly, but I didn't want to do that yet with it being 35 degrees. That underbelly is an insulation to help keep the tanks warm as well as the inside of the RV. We have some 70 and up into 80 degree days coming up within the next 5 days. I figured I should go ahead and wait another day before I start pulling the underbelly apart. Been speaking with various people. If you own an RV, or even if you're curious about it, I highly recommend finding Facebook groups on the brand and manufacturer. There are different groups, some sponsored by the manufacturer and some that are just by the fans of that brand, and you can learn a lot about that even before you make your decision to purchase. So I've gone in there and made a post in the open range forum, since we have an open range. One person that had a similar model to ours but not the same was telling me where they found this external sensor for the Lippert Ground Control 3.0. For them, on a 427 BHS, it was near or right above the spare tire. Well, I've looked there already, and in fact my friend Sam, who had his camera, looked there as well, and we didn't see it. I've also spoken with my friend Scott over at Jarhead and Ginger's Journey. He's got a Momentum toy hauler, but it has a similar Lippert ground control, and he had to replace the external sensor as well. Now, I was very jealous of watching that. I got to see how easy it was for a Grand Design to take off the underbelly. I really wish an open range had made the underbelly that easy to service. Oh well. Then I also talked with Sean and Angie of Our Vision Nomadic Living. I'm just throwing a bunch of YouTube channels at you today. Sean has an open range, and he does a lot of work on his. And we were chatting about the external sensor, and he went back and found his video where he changed his black tank gate valve, and you could see the external sensor plain as day throughout the video as it was directly above his gate valve. Unfortunately, it's not a 374 BHS, which is what we have. He has a different model. I'm not even sure they make his model anymore. But the amount of work he had to go through to take off the underbelly, because it's all riveted on, it's pretty. I think he was using a punch and a hammer. I think that's what he said. Usually when I take rivets off, it's going to be a drill, and they're going to get replaced with a screw. I'm not sure why Open Range couldn't just use a screw in the first place. I do a lot of ranting, don't I? At any rate, I'd like to do some prep work. I need to find the external sensor before it shows up, and I'd like to get eyes on the wiring, because there is a potential that it's not the sensor that's bad, but that the wiring could actually be frayed somewhere between the back, the rear of the RV, and the front. That could cause bad signals to go up to the main computer. Judging on what Scott went through from Jarhead and Ginger's Journey, he was able to replace it and all of his errors went away. I have ordered the part. I validated that it is the exact part for our system. They only had 2 to choose from, so it was pretty easy to narrow down which external sensor, because it had to be for the Lippert Ground Control 3.0, and then from there it was just 1. So that was good. Whereas when you go with some brands of various different whatever, washing machines or dryers, and it's like you think they're all the same dryer, because I've fixed our dryer when we had a house before, and you wind up with 17 different serial numbers of these completely different models, but they all look the same, but they all have different parts. That's no fun. Hey, at least Whirlpool made them serviceable. Thank you, Whirlpool. So here we are at this point. I've got to get it fixed. So I think I've got a high of 70 degrees tomorrow. I've still got work to do as well, but thankfully that my job is flexible enough where I can get tasks done, I can take care of certain things at work, and then I can step away, crawl into the RV for a bit, do a little bit of work, come back to my job, check back in, see what's going on. Unless, of course, sometimes there's emergencies where it's like all hands on deck, when that's different. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Now that I say it, all heck will probably break loose tomorrow. We'll deal with that when we come across it. I like to think that I'm pretty good in emergency situations. I like to grab the bull. Oh, that's yours. I like to grab the bull by the horns and say, we're gonna do this, whatever. I'm going off on a weird tangent. So this is just a little update on what's been going on with us. Not a whole lot right now. I did want to film something for you today, but the day kind of slipped away from me. But if you see this black thing back here on the table, I'm hoping we can talk about that tomorrow. And it's gonna be a rant, because this Thousand Trails Park, I'm not happy. A lot of people love this park, but I'm not happy. So we will talk about that tomorrow. I may be an honorary self-appointed Thousand Trails employee by the end of the week. You'll just have to come back and figure out what I'm talking about. All right, y'all. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm sorry if this episode was kind of short and boring. You know what? Go in the comments. Tell me, hey Dave, you're short and boring. I'm sure you won't tell me that. You'll probably be like, I don't even watch you, dude. No, I appreciate all of y'all that come out and comment. I definitely feel the love, and I'm thankful for every one of you that watches our videos and that leaves a comment, likes, even if you don't comment and don't like and you just watch our video. Thank you. We appreciate you. I'm gonna go get this ready to upload. I'm gonna walk a Daisy because a Daisy wants to do a walk. Take a shower in the bathhouse, because that's how I do it. That's how I RV life. I love the bathhouse. And I will see you tomorrow. Remember, life happens. Don't let it stop you. Stay fresh, cheese bags.